Good morning Year 4, and this is your literacy video on Thursday the 25th of February, and because it's a Thursday, remember we will be working from our yellow booklets, okay? So that's not using your comprehension booklets, it's using your yellow one. Now yesterday I introduced you to the A sound, and I told you that there were 8 ways of making the A sound. Can anybody remember any of those ways? I want you to write them down in front of you. Maybe you could write them in your yellow book. How many different ways of making the A sound can you remember? Okay, so I hope you've got some of those ways. Let's have a little look together. Okay, so let's have a quick recap of some of these ways. We've got A for A, A for A, I for A, our split digraph A, I, G, H for A for A, Y for A, and Y for A. So there are 8 different ways of making the A sound. And depending on where your A sound comes in your word, depends on which A sound we will use. So if our A sound is at the end of our words Year 4, we could use our split digraph A, our AY A, or our EY A. And they are your A sounds that come at the end of your words. The other A sounds are ways of writing the A sound when it's in the middle of your words, okay? So I'm going to now hide the different ways of making the A sound. And I want you to have a go at spelling some of these words. So again, I want you to write them in this book, okay? So take one last good look. Have we remembered them? Because they're going. Okay, so your first word I want you to have a go at spelling is flame. Flame. Which A sound is it in the word flame? Okay, once you've done that one, your next word is great. Which A sound is it in great? You're doing so well, Year 4, keep it up. Next one, we've got 8, the number 8. Which A sound is it for the number 8? And then we've got lazy. How could we write lazy? Sunday, well, not Sunday as a day of the week, Sunday as an ice cream sundae. Which A sound is it there? Then we've got rain. And I'm looking out of my window now and I can see some rain. Then we've got grey, the colour grey. And finally, day. So let's have a little go at writing these words on our whiteboard. So we'll start with lazy. Okay, so lazy is L, A, Z, E. So to make our A sound, Year 4, it's the letter A. Okay. Then let's go for Sunday, like an ice cream sundae. Sun. Day. There we go. So we make our A sound in Sunday with an A and an E. Okay. After that, we've got rain. We're very good at using this A sound, Year 4. Our A and an I We know that one, we use that one a lot. And then we've got flame, which is our split digraph A. Okay. The next word then was 8, the number 8. Now I always think this one's really tricky. We don't use this one very often. So to make our A sound, we've got 4 letters there, year 4, 4 letters. And we've got great. Again, we're good at using this A sound as well. After great, we've got the colour grey, which uses our y, and then we've got day, which is our y sound. Well done if you were able to use the correct A sound in all of those words. Okay, so yesterday I read you a story. Can anybody remember what my story was about? What happened in it? It was called The 3 Billy Goats Gruff, and here are those 3 billy goats. They crossed something. What did they cross? They crossed a bridge, didn't they? And why did they cross that bridge, year 4? What was on the other side of the bridge that they wanted? It was some delicious grass, wasn't it? But it wasn't as easy as just crossing the bridge, because who was underneath the bridge? It was a troll, and the troll wasn't a very nice troll. Every time he heard a trip trap over the bridge, he shouted that he was going to gobble up the 3 billy goats gruff. But the biggest goat, he wasn't scared of the troll, and he used his long curved horns, and he headbutted the troll so that he fell off the bridge, and then they could cross the bridge whenever they wanted. And then I got you to look at some sentences and to decide if they were questions or if they were just sentences, and you had a go at identifying some question marks, and then you had a go at adding the correct punctuation to sentences. Now today we're going to have a go at writing some questions. So your learning question says, can I write relevant questions and punctuate these correctly? Now I've included this word relevant. And all relevant means is that it links to what we're talking about. And we're talking about the 3 billy goats gruff. We're not talking about what we had for tea last night or what the weather is like outside. We're asking questions about the 3 billy goats gruff. Okay, and once we've written our question, we've then got to punctuate it correctly, and that means we've got to put a question mark at the end of it. Okay, so what's a question then? Remind me, what is a question? Okay, so a question is something that we ask and we want an answer to, isn't it? Okay. And then what do we put at the end of a question? There's a big clue on the board because there's 2 of them already on that board. Okay, so the punctuation that goes at the end of a question is one of these, a question mark. And all questions, year 4, start with a question word. And I remember my question words by thinking about 5 W's. Because you'll notice that each of my words start with a W. Okay, so we've got who, what, where, when, and why. And we're going to use these question words to write some questions. Either that the goat could ask from the Three Billy Goats Gruff, or that the troll could ask from the Three Billy Goats Gruff. So I'm going to think of a question that the troll could ask. And we hear a question when we listened to the story. Can anybody remember what that question was? Okay, so it started with who? Who goes trip-trap over my bridge? And that's going to be the first question that I write today. So, going to use my who, making sure I start with a capital letter. So, who goes, some of you have got your O sound in your spellings this week. Who goes trip trap over my bridge? Who goes trip-trap over my bridge? And who can remember what needs to go at the end of my question? Because that's our learning question today, is to punctuate our questions correctly. We need a question mark. So, I've thought of a question that the troll could ask. And what I want you to do is to also think of some questions that the troll could ask, or that the Three Billy Goats Gruff could ask. So I'm going to go back to my 5W hand. Okay, who, what, where, when, why. And I want you to write 6 questions here for. Okay, so use this hand to help you. You might want to pause the video so that you can see those words, and then you're going to write them in your yellow book. Okay, either a question from the Billy Goats Gruff or a question from the troll. And once you've written your 6 questions year 4, let's have a little look at our sentence checker. You know I like us to always check our sentences. So, capital letter, question words, finger spaces, question mark, check it for sent. So let's go back to my question. Have I got a capital letter? Yeah, it's nice and tall. We can see that that one's a capital. Let's give us a tick there. Got that one. Did I have a question word? Who is my question word? Brilliant. Give that one a tick. Now, did I use finger spaces in between each of my words year 4? Yeah, we can see those. So let's put another tick there. Does it end with a question mark? Certainly does. And then does it make sense? So let's have one more read through it. Who goes trip-trap over my bridge? Does that make sense? Yeah, I think so as well. So please make sure that you use our sentence checker and check through each of your questions. And remember, you're going to have 6 written. Okay. Once you've done all of that then, year 4, let's roll our dice to see what question we're going to answer. Okay, we've landed on a number 3. Circle all of the question words used at the start of your sentence. So I want you to go back to your questions that you've written, and you're going to circle your question words, and you're going to do that for all 6. Don't forget to take a picture and send it to the Year 4 email address. I'm really looking forward to reading your questions.